In lecture 3.2, we learn about the difference between double and single quote in Bash. Double and single quote have a subtle different look but very important meaning in Bash scripting. For example, when we store the value 2 into the counter variable, then we echo double quote $counter closing double quote. This will print 2 on the console. However, if we write in our script echo single quote $counter single quote, the text $counter will be printed on the console. Why is that? The reason are because of the variable expansion in Bash. In double quote, Bash interpreter will expand this variable and take the content inside the counter, which is the string number 2, and then displayed on the console. With a single quote, the Bash interpreter will not expand to take the content of the counter variable. Instead, the Bash interpreter will print out exactly the text as is. Let us go to the lab and try out what we have learned so far. See you in the lab. Welcome back to the lab. Just like many other languages, we will begin our Bash scripting with the Hello Bash. Let's click on the window and CD without any parameter to go to the home directory. And here we will make our new directory. mkdir make the learn advanced bash. Okay, so we will make this directory, and after we make that directory, we'll cd into it. We change our directory into lab, into lab. Okay, here we are in the lecture 1 of session 3, so we will make a directory minus p and then 3.1 n. So I will work on the end, and when you practice in the lab, you are recommended to follow the example, follow the lab, and try it out for yourself. So you will do it in the start. Here we work it out together, and we do it in the end directory. So know that the make the -p will make multiple subdirectory. Otherwise, we have to make the 3-1 and then make the again with 3.1/n. With the -p, we can do both at the same time. Okay, and we will cd to that newly created directory. If we do cd, okay, there will be a lot more to learn later in this course, but here I'm showing you a quick shortcut right here. If you hold out the left on key and then the period, the dot on together, then the last argument of the previous command will be retrieved. Okay, so here the name of the newly created directory is retrieved, and we can cd into that directory without typing it. Okay, so now we are in the lab 3.1 and directory. If we want to make a start directory at the same level as the end directory, we can do make the ... go back to the parent directory. That means that 3.1 and then say start. So this is where you will do your work to practice later. Okay, so when you say ls ... we will display the listing of the parent directory. So you can see that we have both the end and start, right? So we are at the end. Okay, so we have a structure for our lab now. Let's begin our first script. We will start subl sublime, and then we say hello bash. Okay, the .sh is extension for the shell. Most of the shell we have a .sh. Hit enter, and then now we are here in the hello bash file. We can begin typing /bin/bash. The pound sign and exclamation point is a directive to indicate where the system can find the bash interpreter. Enter, and then we say echo hello bash. Okay, and let's hit Control S to save it. Here we do the ls, but this ls only shows the hello bash, right? To see more detail of the file, we say ls minus l, that for a detailed version, and we can see that here it rewrite. For you, the user, it rewrite. For the group, it rewrite, and for the word, it read only. So people in the same trainer group can modify this file, but people out there not in the same group can only read it, cannot modify it. And this one is called 664. Okay, so here it 1, 2, 4. So 2 and 4 are 6. So 6, and this is 4. Okay, and we must have the executable privilege in order to execute this file. So to add the executable privilege into this file, we do smart m chmod and u+x for the user add the executable, and then we will do it for all file in this directory. Now we do the ls minus l again. We can see that the executable bit is now added into the file privilege, and the file name turned to green. It's no longer white like before. Okay, it is green now. And here to execute this file, we must say dot for the current directory. This is where to find the file /h, and then hit tab key. Okay, this tab key will auto complete the file name, and you don't need to type the whole file name. Alright, hit enter here, and say hello bash. So the echo command is the way to print out the message on the console. This is the console, and we just display the message hello bash, and we just got it. Okay, and that is for the first video. Let's pause the video here, and we will try our second bash script in the next video. See you then. Welcome back to the lab. In this video, we will try the second example of session 3.1. And before, we will try SU sublime show value. We will begin to type here /bin /bash, and then we define a counter variable, and we store the value of 2 into that counter variable, and it's an echo counter, and then echo, but this time we use a single quote, not double quote like the line above it. And save the file. Now go into our terminal, we say ls minus l. We can see that one is green and the other one is white, and we know the reason why they have different color, right? Because here the executable bit is not set in the second file. Okay, so to set that executable bit for the user, we use the command smart u+x star for all file. Now we say ls minus l. They both have a green color, and they both have the executable bit set for the user. Now we can execute the show value.sh. Like before, we hit tab, and we got the entire file name displayed. Hit enter, and you can see that 2, the value 2 right here, it came from a double quote, echo double quote $counter, print out the value of 2, because it is the variable expansion. The expansion only happened within a double quote. for the single quote in line number 4, the S code will print exactly what it is inside the single quote without any variable expansion. As a result, the dollar counter is printed here as is, no expansion for the variable. This example shows the subtle difference but very important difference between double quote and single quote in batch scripting. And that is for our lab. I'll see you back in the lecture.